Hello, gamers. It's me, coming with a hashtag relatable experience. Don't you remember the times when you were a kid, sketching away in your notebook, role-playing on Roblox FNAF, and then suddenly you make a pretty, awesome OC idea? You had the sparkling eyes that change colors that still kind of rules, to be honest. The invincibility and the super sad backstory that makes the guy go through things that just kind of really messed up. Of course, when you combine all those traits together, you are always gonna get a great OC. Totally. Cough, cough. Anyways, so that OC slowly evolves over the course of your role-playing journey until one day you find out they're just very boring and you put them in the dungeon of boring OCs forever. Unless you're me and you decide, man, my old self was kind of cooking with some of these ideas and decide to redesign them 7 years later. That's right, OC redesign video, baby. It's time for me to enter the wonderful world of OC redesign videos. Before we begin, I gotta tell you about these guys we're reviving today. Here we have our first specimen, Liam Harper, who was created when I was 10 years old. My kid self wanted him to be a kind of cool and funny guy, but every interaction he had ooh in it, if that gives you any idea about his personality. Of course, he also had a super sad backstory, which included his mother dying from a mysterious illness, RIP girl, and his father working 5 different jobs in order to support the family. Blah blah blah, let's skip to the most important part. Dude's literally going through the worst things ever, until he meets Mia, our second specimen. She's kinda just there, she didn't really have a personality. Imagine that one Chad and girl meme where he's like, I'll protect you. Mia's the Chad, Liam's the girl. Soon, they hashtag fell in love and went on journeys together until one day Mia just, straight up killed him? Suddenly, I don't know, there was, no build-up at all. It just, happened? What? Anyways, I guess she, really regretted that decision because she immediately went on the internet and somehow found a step-by-step ritual to bring him back. Yes, we are keeping the fact that she found this on some random website canon. This is super funny. The resurrection worked, but at a cost. Bro had to trade her life for his, and he was brought back as a zombie, doomed to live forever alone as the one he loved turned into a ghost who only appeared in the mirror. Hashtag RIP Girl Part 2. Whoa, crazy, right? Maybe 10-year-old me should have been a Sans fangirl instead. There's so many plot holes that I include in order to make the general story simple and quick to explain. Now that we know their backstory, it's time to actually redesign them and hopefully make their story make a little more sense. Woo! 3rd video, and I'm finally including a speed paint! Crazy! Enjoy watching the process of me going back and forth during line art, lol. Okay, first things first, we're giving him an actual personality. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Now meet the guy who has no dreams or goals because he feels like there's no point in achieving anything in his life. Woo! In the current story, Liam's upbringing, no dead mom, just divorce in a lonely household, convinced him that there's no meaning in his life, a mindset that pushed him away from others and cut off any chances he had on finding something he loves. The only thing he could bring himself to care about is playing some songs on his guitar. Secretly, of course, he wouldn't want anyone to bother him in order to ask him to play a song, or even worse, ask him if he created any music of his own. He did. Middle school Liam was a dark time for him. The days dragged out until one day, a girl started to follow him around the school. At first, her words were blurred in his mind, but soon he found himself opening up to her, wanting to spend more time with her, and eventually becoming something he never thought he could ever have. Friendship. We will catch back up here later. It's time to talk about the changes in his design. Overall, I kinda just desaturated his whole design in order to match his new personality. Sadly, it also meant that his green, bright eyes had to go. See you, green orbs, you will always be in my heart. In the original story, he had the headphones and scarf since they helped hide the fact he was a zombie, even though that's just pretty obvious from looking at him. Due to that realization, it was bye-bye to those two. He mainly stays inside after being revived anyways. He can't really risk going out anymore. I'm also keeping the changing colored eyes since that's been a crucial part of his design since forever. Just keeping it in his pupils now since it makes it less visually intense on the overall design. Besides from sharpening his hair, his design has also remained mostly the same. I tried for going for a moon color scheme since he's the moon to Mia's sun. So cute. Well, that's basically it about the changes. Here's the final redesign. You heard it here, folks. Specimen 2, Mia Algro is here. It's Mia time. It's Mia time. It is Mia time. Fun fact, I never made a ref for her, so each little doodle of her within this video is based off of recollection and the few drawings I could find of her throughout the ancient archive of childhood drawings. Since she basically had no personality, I was able to start with a blank canvas for her character. Basing her off of the sun, the current Mia is overly enthusiastic, determined, and focused on being something in her life. It could be anything, like saving a dog, performing at a concert, winning the Best Person Ever to Exist award, as long as someone remembers her and her accomplishments. Of course, this type of unending drive made her an outcast around others, since she was often overwhelming to hang around. This didn't stop her, though, and she continued to follow her dreams, becoming a musician. On one day, a giant wall split her plans in two. The music club she was creating required 2 members to be official. Oh, crap. She rushed off after classes ended and happened to come across a boy playing his guitar not too far from school. She knew it. She had just found her second member. Blah, blah, blah. You know where this is going if you remember the Liam recap. They get closer and slowly improve one another, and then they kiss, fall in love. So, now that you know, the overall story for her, let's talk about the redesign. Sadly, I had to get rid of her super iconic color scheme of, black, white, and gray. R.I.P. my grayscale queen, welcome my blue and yellow monarch. I also made her lean into more alternative clothing, just cause I think she would look cute in it, although not too much thought there. In the smaller details, I gave her a necklace of the quarter note, which was a gift from Liam. Both of these guys are music related, like Harper, the harp, the instrument, and Algro, the tempo, so I thought it would be cute to add some sort of reference to it in the design. Other than that, that's basically it for her redesign. Yes, I am conveniently ignoring the second one. She's going through a rough time right now and she needs some rest. So here's the final design. You didn't think it was over, did you? Let's finally talk about the elephant in the room. Why does Liam still turn into a zombie? Well, things actually go pretty similar to the events in the original story. Let's fast forward, shall we, in order to catch up with our favorite bisexuals. The bisexuals decide to visit their favorite restaurant for dinner and chat away as the local news warns of the daily dangers of the town. However, one actual glance on the TV and you can tell something was different. A large increase in missing people haunted the area. Totally not foreshadowing information the teens should have been listening to. The conversation was going great until Liam got hit with a sudden sleepiness he hadn't felt in a while. He must have overexerted himself. The consequences of that action hit him fast. Mia, used to this by now, tried keeping him awake until she was convinced that bro was just gonna sleep on the way, unless she went up to get some coffee from the next door in order to wake him up. Unfortunately for Liam, he happened to wake up just as she left through the front door. Thinking she was left to go back to the car, he rushed out the door to follow her. The door slams behind him as the TV flickers. As he might have guessed by now, that was the last day anyone saw him alive. Over the following months, several parts of his corpse was found, hidden in the alleys throughout the peaceful town. Although not all of it was found, it was enough to identify him as the final victim of a string of murders that seemingly stopped as soon as they started. Mia wouldn't accept this conclusion, though. She wouldn't let this be the end of his story. Searching throughout the town and the internet, her life became a dizzying storm of information aiming to bring back the one who meant most to her. The only lead she found was some stupid website she knew couldn't be true. I mean, the sparkles and the cutesy font showed that it was satire, she thought, but she kept finding herself drawn to it. Eventually, its presence strained her mind of options, and she followed the ritual step by step, finding herself more exhausted as each step went on. It was silly things at first, like tying her shoes or remembering their favorite song, but it quickly got more intense. She was rebuilding his body, taking whatever she could find of the original and borrowing others from the parts that he lost. By the last step, she swore she saw his fingers moving again. Her efforts came true in the end, as he awoke after the final step to a world that never seemed so hostile alone. It's unfortunate she couldn't be there with him one last time, to say goodbye to the one that mattered most. Anyway, here are the two designs next to each other. Hopefully that wasn't too cringy to listen to. I mean, I kind of over-exaggerated the changes I was making to these guys in the beginning. I mean, I'm too attached to them to actually change that much about them. I mean, either way though, it's really interesting to see how my current art style evolved these guys into something that was originally boring, into something, I dare say, was pretty cool, awesome, and even epic. I'll probably make another redesigning old OC videos if you guys like this one, since I have a lot of these ancient creatures in my mind. Anyways, that seems to be it for today's video. It's time for me to go on a journey into the far plains to escape the evil creature that lurks around me. See ya!